There's something special about being outside. The crunch of the leaves underneath our feet, the wind weaving through the trees, the melodic dawn chorus. It's a quiet reminder of how much we're a part of nature, even if we don't always think about it. And then there's coffee. For most of us, it's just part of our daily routine, but it's deeply tied to nature too. Grown all around the world, coffee depends on a delicate balance with nature to flourish. And more than 2 billion cups of them are drunk every day, and life just wouldn't be the same without it. But where did it all start? And how is this industry adapting to a changing climate? Welcome to Coffee Trails. Good morning everyone, welcome to Coffee Trails, a new series in which I'll be exploring the world of coffee and the stories behind every cup. Each episode I'll be hiking around a different part of Wales and brewing a different cup of coffee along the way. While I'll be making and drinking a variety of coffee, I'll also be exploring how both coffee and nature are becoming increasingly vulnerable due to the climate crisis. So through each trail I hope to both inspire and educate a deeper appreciation for coffee, nature and the need for sustainable action. And as much as this series is about talking about coffee and sustainability, it's also a bit of a learning curve for me because I've never properly made coffee outside before. So hopefully I can make some great coffee in some pretty cool places. So today I'm in mid-Wales, walking through a forest that me and my family and me and my friends used to walk through a lot. So I've got a lot of memories in this place, which is why I thought it would be a good location to start this new series. So I've only ever worked in coffee shops, I've only ever dealt with espresso. So this will be a good challenge for me and I'm really looking forward to it. And hopefully it inspires some other people to make some coffee outside or simply just to enjoy the outdoors a bit more. Bloody hell. So the origins of coffee trace back to around 800 AD in Ethiopia, where legend has it that a goat herder notices goats acting a bit strange when they ate some berries from this tree. So the herder tasted these berries for himself and he felt the same weird energetic sensation. So he took these cherries to a monk and the monk was convinced these were the work of the devil. So apparently he threw them in the fire and then after that obviously the cherries were being roasted. This gorgeous aroma was released into the room. So the monk realised his mistake, put the cherries into some hot water for preservation and then tried this new concoction. And then of course he felt the same sensation, and apparently the monks were able to stay awake during prayers and devotion at night. Also the legend's told. It's a bit of a myth really. So I've been walking around for a while now trying to find a good place to brew some coffee and I think I might have found one. I've been looking for a good tree stump or fallen tree or something just to prop the coffee on really. This should be perfect. Yeah, we can do it on here. I'll just need to find a big rock and then I think we're good to go. Lovely. Big rock. I think I've got one. This should be perfect. So today I'll be brewing a coffee from Brazil. I have a blend of Brazilian coffee beans which are grown in the highlands of Brazil in a region known as Sul de Minas. So Brazil is the largest producer of coffee in the world, but of course climate change poses a serious threat. So I'm currently standing on the Long Mountain looking over mid-Wales and I'm also looking over a castle right now, Powys Castle. And it's really lucky that I live in a place like this. There's so many places I could go hiking and there's so many places that I haven't even explored yet. And no matter where you live or what you do, it is always important to go outdoors, explore new places that you've never been before, even if it's just on your doorstep. I'm preaching like a bit of a to be honest. So coffee plants are really sensitive to their environment, especially Arabica coffee, which needs high altitudes, the right soil, the right temperature. The plant basically needs everything in a line to grow and thrive. So any weird and unexpected changes in the climate can disrupt the coffee's growth cycle. For example, droughts can stress the plant, meaning less cherries are actually able to grow. Heavy and excessive rainfall can lead to soil erosion, and even dangerous insects are more rife in hotter conditions. For example, the coffee berry borer. So the coffee berry borer is a small insect which is found in most coffee growing regions in the world and can attack from 50 to 100% of coffee plants in a coffee plantation. So it's a coffee farmer's worst nightmare. And these dangerous insects thrive in warmer conditions, so it means more reproduction and more coffee plants getting attacked by the coffee berry borer. So overall, climate change is a real threat to coffee farmers, and it makes it really hard for farmers to predict and plan for the growing seasons. And smallholder farmers, which are family operated businesses, produce around 75% of the world coffee production, but they're the most vulnerable. With small resources and little negotiating power, farmers can earn little for their coffee. In fact, it's estimated that smallholder farmers only earn as little as 3% of the price of a cup of coffee at your local cafe. And it's predicted that by 2050, 50% of the global surface area which is currently being used to grow coffee will not be suitable for growing coffee anymore. So climate change is a massive threat to smallholder farmers. And smallholder farms have been found to be a lot more environmentally friendly than the larger scale plantations. So they are facing the brunt end of this crisis, and they haven't even contributed to it. So this threat means that coffee farmers all around the world are the most vulnerable they've ever been, and they face a really uncertain future. So it's not all about preserving the coffee bean flavour, it's also about preserving communities and livelihoods and families, and preserving the traditions of coffee growing regions just like Brazil. And that's why it's so important to explore how farmers can adapt and innovate in the face of this crisis. So while coffee farms are some of the most vulnerable to climate change, they can also be seen as part of the solution. This sounds a bit weird, but it's true. Coffee farms have a chance to reverse some of the damage from deforestation through a practice called agroforestry. Agroforestry is all about using plants and trees to the farmer's advantage. So rather than knocking trees down, they are planting more. For coffee growers, this means shade-grown coffee. Not only can trees protect some of the crops from extreme weather, it can also help in slowing down the ripening of the coffee cherries, which of course leads to a better flavour. So in other words, nature can actually help make better tasting coffee. And it doesn't even stop there. Of course, more trees means more absorption of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. It also provides more habitats for wildlife and overall just makes a more thriving ecosystem. So it's a win-win. Better tasting coffee, improved yields for farmers and a more sustainable planet. Hello horsies, hello pony. So doing exercise does obviously help me physically. It also does wonders for my mental health, and so does making coffee. Being outdoors, exercising, making coffee really gives my head a bit of a break, and it also gives me time to pause and reflect and just be in the moment, you know? And while it's really important to obviously protect nature, which I've not stopped going on about, I think it's also important to enjoy nature just in a nice way, doing nice things out in nature. So while the water's brewing, I think it's time to weigh our coffee beans. As we're doing 1 cup of coffee in a cafetiere, it's going to be about 18 grams of coffee beans. So here are the ground coffee beans, and as I said, we're using a cafetiere. And the water is now ready. And here's our Brazilian coffee, which we'll leave to rest for about 2 minutes. Lovely jubbly. So, Brazilian coffee out in nature. Obviously I used a bit of firelighters and a bit of dead wood to brew the water, which is probably a bit unconventional in the way that people like to make coffee outside. But I want to try a lot of different techniques. I also don't want to fully rely on using gas stoves. Yeah, Brazilian coffee out in nature. Lovely. I'm definitely getting those chocolatey notes, but overall I would say it's a very nutty coffee. It's very strong, and that's about the end of my coffee knowledge, to be honest. Remember, leave no trace. Oh God. Thank you everybody for watching the first episode of Coffee Trails. I really hope you enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. And yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments, and I'd love to hear some suggestions of some different coffees or some different hikes that I should take next. And yeah, there's a lot of exciting things coming. I'm really looking forward to it. So thank you very much, like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Peace! Oh! Goodbye.